Our November Mosey is going to look at a few facility improvement projects that have been done in the last 2 or 3 months, starting with the patio at the Jensen Center, on the east side of the Jensen Center. This was finished a couple months ago by our mason, Steve Shumway, and it's the latest in a series of flagstone improvements where we took out the old flagstone, poured a 4-inch deep concrete base, and then laid the new flagstone on top of mortar and then mortared between the joints. So it's a nice improvement over here, and we intend next year, I hope in the spring, to build a pergola over on the north end of the patio that will give a little more definition and interest to the space. Probably add a couple more of our planter boxes, and this will be the entry point to our interpretive trail through the pergola down to the Blue Coats Council Ring and then around on the trail. So our last flagstone project, which might start soon, is going to be the walk in front of the Jensen Center. Then we're done with flagstone, but the patio here was just finished back in September. This is our herb garden right next to the lodge. The kitchen uses a lot, and these original beds went in maybe 8, 9, 10 years ago, but we are expanding the garden. We got all the soil fill in here and the rock edging in earlier this fall. The volunteer crew on Thursday did that. But we're going to build one more large bed going crossways up at the north end, and then starting on the south end at the entrance all the way around and across the north edge. We're going to build about a 2-foot tall narrower bed, about 2 feet wide, 2 feet tall, to kind of match the height of the stone wall over here, to kind of enclose the garden. At that height, it might discourage some deer from jumping in here, probably not, but it'll also give us a lot more square footage to grow maybe some more vegetables, or some vegetables, and some cut flowers, in addition to maybe some more herbs. So the beds will be built over the winter or early next spring, and this will all be in place by planting time in May. So the herb garden expansion project. This little set of stairs right behind professor's quarters on the west side was put in by our volunteer crew within the last month. And then I had James Visti, who's the maker of all these wonderful metal handrails. He installed this just, I think, 2 weeks ago. And he put the handrail further north there in maybe a month and a half ago. And then there's one going down into the lodge meadow that he put in late summer. So the latest of James's handrails, but this nice little stone steps. There was a depression right here, and we're trying to get this area on the west side of the lodge more presentable, so it's used more. And in the process of doing the first stage of work with the volunteer crew and our gardeners, Beth and Renee, back in late summer, we realized we had a kind of a tough place to navigate right here, an easy place to trip and fall. So we decided to put in a little set of stairs and then a handrail. So a nice improvement just outside of professor's quarters. James Visti also made these. These are our new bluebird nest box posts that just got put in last week. There are 12 of them total on campus, and the volunteer crew will be building new nest boxes that will mount on this plate. We have to have those done this winter, so they're in place by no later than mid-March or so, because the bluebirds can come back pretty early, so they have to be in place early. But when I decided that we should have replace our existing conduit nest box posts, I thought of James right away, that he could kind of mimic what he's done with our handrails and make a nice kind of a tree-like or trunk-like post. So these just got done. There are 6. We're in the Homestead Meadow, the big meadow as you drive through the clearing. There are 3 of them kind of along, maybe 20 feet or so back from the road. There are 3 more on the western edge of the Homestead Meadow. And there are 3 in the hay meadow, which is that meadow you drive through as you exit the property. And then there are 3 between Garrett Bay Road and the Jensen Center parking lot. So a total of 12. And I'm hoping that when the crew builds the nest boxes this winter sometime, they'll make some extras to sell in the bookstore. So look for that. But just got put in a week ago.